We are live here. Welcome to the HB official live stream. I'm Keith, the community manager of the golf club. Today, a couple of special guests. We have Anthony, producer of the game. How are you, sir?
I'm good, mate. How are you?
Good, good. Also, HB Brett. He is the community manager of HB Studios.
How's it going?
Good, good. So we're playing a good course here today. Windsong Shores Golf Sanitarium. I need a drink after that. It's a long one. This is by D-Dog. So I played a couple of holes. I don't know if you guys had a chance to play it at all.
No, I have not played this course before. But then I rely on you, Keith, to tell me the best courses in the game anyway. Yeah, I'll just play Little Book Manor over and over again.
So that's where the 58 million plays came from. Aha. Alright, so I've got you guys on my scorecard. Maybe we'll give it a minute, let some guys pop into the stream here. If you're on my friends lists, we are on PC. Feel free to join us. Could use a fourth on the tee. This is the white version. He's got a white and a black version. I know the distance was more, but I'm not sure if there were any other changes in terms of the two versions that he put out.
Do not know.
There's a 5-minute ad.
I'm going to skip that ad. There we go.
There we go.
All right. How's it going, Royce? Hey, Royce. And hi. That's up. All right, so if we want to tee off, we could do that.
Yeah, I'll tee off. My honours. I'll make the game.
Fair enough.
I didn't really. Just thought I'd get to it.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Look at that.
Yeah, I'm in the rough.
Oh, look
it's too
at
easy
that.
to hit the fairways straight away.
Yep.
Uh-oh. Yeah, I think I have less than an hour played on this thing, so I don't know how many hours you guys have on this. I'm sure
I've
you're
got
gonna...
2,000.
Oh, good, good.
Yeah, nearly 3,000.
Oh, this is going to be a close game then.
Yeah. And, so just to give you a bit of background, Brett is only been at HB, what, 2 weeks now?
Yeah, 2 weeks.
Due to us announcing snowboarding and a few other titles we've got coming on top of the golf club, Keith couldn't do it all from afar. So Brett's come in and he's going to be in the studio all the time while Keith will continue to do this forum stuff and everything for the golf club. So we thought it would be a fun idea to get Brett online and embarrass him in front of the public today.
Yeah, no, that's a great plan.
Yeah.
Excellent. Smurf Blade, Mr. Golf Club, Storm Golf, Fusion. What's up, guys? Thanks for joining in. Smurf Blade says PC. It's all about the PS4, lads. Yeah.
It is, but getting 3 PS4s two PS4s
Oh my
going
God.
in one room at the moment would have been
Oh my.
very
It's too much. I had
Missing
too much
shortcuts
stress on
here.
that.
Terrible. Oh my gosh, almost missed that putt too. Royce says, always enjoy watching new people play. Yeah, Fusion says he'll join. Okay, come on,
Yeah.
Fusion.
Yeah.
Oh, double
Fusion-
bogey.
Double bogey, that's not bad. It's better than Jordan Spieth. And, there we go, and I'm leading after the first hole.
Nice birdie. Birdie from the rough too. Well done.
Yeah.
What's up, friend Bomber? How's it going? Friend Bomber had a good stream yesterday. He was on with the TGCT Live guys with their the designer showcase. That was pretty cool.
I enjoyed my one with them the other week. Was it 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that was good. Good fun. Good laugh. Very amusing. Had a great English versus America versus Canada thing going on. But
It's always healthy.
yeah,
Yeah, I don't know
half the people on the stream didn't know what the other half were talking about. It was brilliant.
I don't know how Els does it. He's over in the UK there. I mean, it's at 1:30 in the morning or something when they're streaming. He's
What was that? Yeah, it was about 7:30 minutes. So yeah, 11:30 to 1 o'clock.
Smurf says, "Don't let you win. I should be letting Anthony win." He says. All right, I'll have to dial something in here. Nice.
Oh yeah.
Don't let Brighttail see that. Keep sending me videos of the
There
ball
you go.
going. There
Come
we
on,
go.
ball.
My par. Boom.
Yeah, me too.
Ooh. Just stuck it in there to a couple of feet, looking like a bird there. Alright.
Leaving it up. Evens it up.
Yeah.
Oh, I like this hole. 'Cause these are the sort of holes I like playing in real life.
Yeah, he did a really nice job with this one. Like I said, I played a few holes just to check it out. And
So hilly.
yeah, I built a lot of elevation changes. There was one.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know if it's a par 3 or something, but it looks really cool. You're looking over the green, and it looks out over the hills into the water.
I'd definitely be renting a car on this hill. Must.
Storm Golf says, "Have I missed any announcements?"
Yeah, I announced Brett joined HB, and I announced.
It's been my 2 weeks.
Yeah,
I've had 2 weeks here.
Yeah, he's had 2 weeks here, and me and Keith decided we'd get him on to embarrass him.
That's a breakdown of the big announcement.
But yeah, apart from that, no big announcements just yet. I put up a post earlier about us. As I've said over the last few weeks, you know, we've just been sort of playing the game and just looking into areas how we think we should move it forward, what we think we should do. You know, there's a few posts on the forum in the last few days saying things are falling on deaf ears. They're definitely not falling on deaf ears. It's just how best do we implement these things into the game, and that's sort of what we're looking at. It's like, do we do them in paid DLC? Do we do them in a Golf Club 2? Do we do them as free updates and hope word spreads and more people buy the game? You know, it's things like that. So it's like, how do we best improve the game? How do we make a game that, you know, got 7s and 8s out of 10s, a 9 out of 10 game without changing the base experience from what the people liked that gave it an 8, you know? And it's, I think, from the people that are hardcore golf fans, like the majority of people on our forums, you know, and the game that we wanted to make, that's a game for an amount of people, but we need to make it a little broader than that, and we can't just make like this massive hardcore golf simulation, because it's going to be too limiting to what the general public want. You know, we want the best golf game ever made, but we don't want to just copy what's come before. You know, I think everyone's in agreement that Lynx was mostly the best golf game around, and that's not around anymore, and it's not around for a reason, and we've got to make sure that we don't make them same mistakes. You know, I don't think that we don't want to make an arcadey golf game. You know, it's definitely not what we're about, but we want to make sure that it's accessible and it's not divisive, you know. And it's one of the things that I constantly get brought up to me about options and stuff, and I'm anti-options. I'm not anti-options. I quite like the fact that I can like play the game the way I want to play it. It's just I don't want them options to be a dividing stick amongst the community. I don't want people saying, "Oh well, I got a 7 and you got a 5, but your 5 doesn't count because I had this setting and you only had this setting." And
Right.
that's what I don't want, because no one argues that case when they play golf. You play golf, and then, you know, as I've always said, golf came up with this really cool thing over 100 years ago called the handicap system that's still going. They've already got that. Why would we want to reinvent the wheel? You know? So, you know, we just got to make it as good a representation of golf so that actually comes into play.
Mhm.
You know, and I fully admit we don't have enough fear factor off the tee at this moment in time. I'm never worried about driving over water. I'm never worried about certain things. You know, and when we first set out to start the golf club, as I've always said, it was meant to be about playing as a non-pro golfer, but being able to apply the decisions that I think about when I play golf and not have to worry about hitting the ball.
Right.
Which is, I think we've achieved, but I think that at the moment it's a little bit too easy to execute certain straight shots. And we've also have a lack of variety off the tee. So as we've always said, it's to see three ghost balls and you all end up within 5 yards of each other, means that that lack of variation needs to be addressed. So it's little things like that. So it's like how do we address them things, and how do we do it in a way that it doesn't kill the game for the current people that have got it. And
Right.
you know, and that's what we're sort of reviewing. And then, you know, after going through and we've had like meetings here and listening to what people have said, it's like it was really interesting to see what people were saying, and then go, okay. And this is the reason I decided to do the retrospectives was, you know, when Laura was talking about the front end and her ideas behind it and the things that have become cumbersome about it and what she wants to do in the future, you know, it was really interesting from not just from the producer of the game's point of view, but I thought from a, you know, fan of the games and, you know, people who have spent a lot of hours and bought in to the experience. So that's the reason why I've got the team to write these and sort of like present them over the next few weeks. So it should be, I think it'll be an interesting thing, and I think that by the end of them we'll have a really clear idea of what we want to do, and and hopefully a nice big announcement for you.
Yeah, it was cool. I liked when she was talking. People were talking about that black box that's in the center of the screen that shows the flag and the yardage, and I mean, she put up a post there about that. And it was very interesting to read.
Yeah,
so
and that's the thing, because
cool.
like all these people and like people like Laura and that, they sit there and they work hard, and they don't, you know, they've got lots and lots of ideas for the golf club, and like they love it, but they don't get them ideas out there as much as someone like me who's got a bit more time to just sit there and blah away on the forums. So it's nice to give her the opportunity and Jim the opportunity and that to talk about the things that they're doing and why certain decisions were made and why, you know, what the goals are of the future. So yeah, I think it'll be an interesting set of posts over the next few weeks.
Cool. Sorry, Fusion. I just realized you weren't on my scorecard. And he's already on the 8th hole.
Oh Jesus, he's flying it.
Well, he doesn't run speed golf for nothing.
Yeah. Mine. I'll put him on mine as well.
Smurf says, in AK we trust. Nice. He says, it's already the best golf game I've ever played. A few minor tweaks would be awesome, though. Storm Golf.
Smurf Blade's got more trust in me than most. See.
Storm Golf says, is the simulator licensed forever to the other company, or is there potential you guys might open that up for others?
I can't remember the exact time on it, but it's a decent period of time anyway. It's not going to be coming up anytime soon. It's not forever, but it's not in the short term. You know, I think we've done really good business with the guys at Pro T. They're a really nice bunch, and they're the kind of people you want to be working with. There's a lot of dodgy people in video games and the golf world, it would seem, and to be dealing with someone as nice as the Pro T guys is really nice for us. So cool. I quite enjoy that.
What's up, Mellows? How's it going? Tough Fish UK says, what about the more important issue of the word shift on the HUD for PC players? I'm not sure. It looks just like the one used by the Sun newspaper. That's priority, right? I'm not sure what that...
So what?
Shift. I don't even
more
see.
important issue of the word shift on the HUD of PC players. It looks like one using the Sun. That's priority, right? Yeah, maybe. I didn't realise. I don't use keyboard very often.
No. Burton Kess, what did he miss?
Not much.
No, just missed a couple of birds.
Yeah. Oh, you missed the announcement of TGC3, Burton. TGC3. We're skipping 2. We're a bit like Windows 9. Windows 9. We're just going straight for TGC3.
Nice. Are we adding the start button back in though?
Start button. Yeah.
The Windows.
Put the exit button in.
Nice.
We forgot one of them. I don't know. Was that on early access? Didn't we forget that exit button? You have it ready?
Oh, really?
Yeah. You had to alt F4 out. Forgot about the exit button.
Alright. Keep moving here. Storm Golf, it would be awesome to work with a Swing Byte or other low-end device for cheap simulator type experience is all I was thinking.
Yeah, Yeah, no, and I think, well, talking to the guys at Pro T, I think they've got a lot of new business ideas as well. So it'll be interesting to see what they come up with and what we can come up with. We've got a lot of traction from being on the simulator, it has to be said, from other companies where a lot of these big golf firms play simulator golf, and they've come up to us and spoken about stuff. It's one of the reasons why the March update has been slowed a little, because we've got a few little bits of outside the video game world work to do that people, it will never be seen by anyone, but it's nicely paid and it's used corporately, and it's good for us to put on like a to present stuff about the golf club to future investors and stuff. So it's worth doing that money, that work, because we're getting money for it. That money gets reinvested into doing further work on the golf club, and it just unfortunately means that the March update is not going to happen in March, April, but hopefully May, because you've got to take the paid work over the free work at the moment.
That makes sense. Mello says, do you guys know what the ratio of keyboard to mouse users versus controller users is?
No, I don't.
That'd be interesting.
I don't know. We might be able to find it out. Most probably through Steam API maybe. I don't know at all. We were actually going to do separate leaderboards, but I don't like separate leaderboards, so that's the reason we didn't do it. But everyone else wanted one, so I actually got my way on that one.
Burton Cats, I thought Anthony would be better with all these months of practice I've been hearing about.
To be fair, this isn't my controller. This is the one that sits in the games room. And been through maybe 4 cycles of Madden, a FIFA, golf club.
It also looks like it's been with some gravy.
Yeah, it looks like, yes. People play it every day at lunch, and as Brett says, it looks like it's been dipped in some gravy, and it's like
tasty.
It's not straight. Like, I can't hit the ball straight with it at all. It's not the one I have on my desk, which is it was brand new for the golf club, black Xbox 360 controller, and it's basically like my polished club. I've got a little club holder for it. I stick it in. And, so this thing isn't good.
This is like
and I'm talking to Keith at the same time, which is never easy.
I don't know if I can reach that. Tough Fish, how much did Oosthuizen end up costing you at that dinner? Oh, I went to a Masters dinner at my club, and they auction off all the players at the Masters, and then you can win money based on how they finish and things. But yeah, the prices were well above my means. I mean, Jason Day ended up going for like $900. Like, I don't think so. The problem is that people form like a block, so they have like four members sitting at the table, and they're all putting money in together to buy one guy. It's like, well, I can't compete with that. So
who had Danny Willits?
I don't know. I was keeping track. They actually had like a list they put out. I can't really see it, and I kept track for the top 25 guys on the list. It wasn't by world ranking, but he went before I started writing down numbers. So I don't know how much he went for, but I think he went for somewhere around a couple $100. So whoever had him made out like a bandit.
Oh man, yeah. So I'm actually behind Brett now. How's this happened?
Uh-oh.
This is not how this is meant to go. We're meant to be,
It's embarrassed me.
yeah, we're embarrassing you, and
Not today.
yeah.
Well, blame it on the controller, right?
It's going to be a Twitch feed for me not talking, just like getting really angry that I'm not Burton speaking. You got a nice black Microsoft controller. That's a newer one.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah, this thing is like.
I can go stomp on it a bit if you want to make
It
it
is,
even.
it is like going around the course with a putter.
Mello just said, just feel there are some issues with keyboard, mouse, and the designer. Obviously, if the vast majority use controller, it may not be worth addressing, but it still keeps me from using the designer more often.
Yeah, I'd agree. I would agree with that actually. It's it was designed originally
what a
for. Oh Jesus, that's a horrible shot. It was designed originally for the PS4, and that was because everyone always said, "Oh, you can't do a decent course designer on the console, so it's only going to be available on PC." Remember when we announced that? That was amusing.
Mhm.
Yeah, you won't be able to do it. Oh, what's going on?
And it was done.
Yeah, and so then we, it was one of the things we always said. It has to work really well on the controller. Problem is, you don't want to do two different input systems. So the system, the way we worked it out needed to be the same as it was on a controller for mouse and keyboard, and that doesn't really translate as well as it should. So, Keith got a 6 on that last time.
Yeah, my short game is horrible.
Plus 5. I've got to really start thinking about this.
Stormgolf says he uses controller to play and design, so maybe he could help out Mello with some of the things there. Smurf asked, any HB knockout tourneys or other events on the horizon?
We will have our normal weekly tournaments out tomorrow. Keith's got to pick some courses, and Brett's got to set them up. We had a bit of an issue last week with Firefox and our servers.
Did not like this.
Yeah, and we thought the tournaments were up and they weren't, and then I was in on Saturday evening trying to fix it, and then I realised what happened, and then we fixed it and we got up though a bit late. So tomorrow we should have the results and a new tournament, new set of tournaments.
Yep, we don't have any.
My handicap's so high now, though, it's worse than my real life handicap. It's 22. So the TGC Tours guys have all done a number on me with my handicap.
Alright, Stormgolf, take care. He's got to get back to work, he says. Toughest, I missed a bit. That's the reason I haven't put time into the designer, being a keyboard and mouse user. Chief Banks, what's up, guys? Spoiled with so many streams this week. Welcome along, Chief. We don't have any playing events coming up, but there is ongoing right now is the design contests, which are calling it the Rookie Design Contest. So looking forward to seeing what comes out there. We've got, I think, 15 guys. Oh wow, can we drive this screen? We've got 15 guys. The deadline for their submissions is May 1st. Oh, nice. I'm going to try and drive the green. I don't think I can get there with the elevation, but. So we got 15 courses coming in from guys who have never been in a design contest before. Oh, Kim's just short. So, so that'll be May 1st will be submissions, and then we'll start going through, judging them. We're going to have Driver T, CSU Golfer, and Callie are going to be 3 guest judges as well as myself, so it should be fun.
We never put out a winner for the Wacky Par 3s, did we?
No, nothing with that yet.
Yeah, they were good. I was enjoying playing some of them. So I'll Brett and yourself can go through and rate some of them, and we'll give out some prizes. I think.
All right, that sounds good.
For that, I enjoyed some of them. So that was again something we could have used for something corporate, which could be a bit fun. So and give us quite a bit of exposure. So that would be nice.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, there were some fun ideas. Yeah. Let's see, Burton, Ken, any news on the minor update coming and when? I think you just mentioned that it may be past April until.
Yeah, it won't be in the coming few weeks, but I'm hoping. Got a list of things I want to do. Basically, what I want to do is just go through, just clean up a lot of little things. So there won't be any big, unique selling points on that list. It'll be a lot of cleanup that I think will make everyone go, "Oh, right, that." When you play the game, it'll just play a bit nicer. It'll be a lot cleaner. They're the sort of things I want to do for the next update, and then after that update, then we've got the big one of where do we go, what do we do, and our decisions will be made. So I'm hoping to have an announcement for that as well once we've had our meetings and discussed everything that we need to do.
Okay, cool.
Jesus, I'm in the rough again.
Mello said he even bought an Xbox controller but can't get used to it for designing. Yeah, hopefully Storm Golf can help you out with some of the things there.
Are they talking about like a controller on the PC?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I have it on Xbox One, and I'm okay with it. Yeah.
This is horrible. It's a
What's
bad
up?
day.
How's it going, Doubtful? Obelisk is here. Welcome along. Tough Fish UK says, have you ever considered cosmetic microtransactions? Balls, clothes, clubs, club bags, etc.
Yeah, we have. We considered it at the very, very beginning before we released the game. The problem is setting up them things actually normally could end up costing more money than you actually make from them. Because a lot of people just go for the free option anyway. Although there's lots of cosmetic stuff we wanted to add, so we did think about it. We decided no in the short term. It's one of the things on the table moving forward, but I don't know. I think we're a bit long in the tooth now to start adding that.
Yeah. Dastardly Dinosaur's got to hop off. Thanks for stopping in. Burton Cat says, if and when a TGC2 comes around, will the plan be to have an open beta on PC again?
Oh, Jesus, we haven't had a plan for TGC2 yet, so I don't know what the beta is going to be. I would say no this time around if we were going to do another one. I think for the reason why, like, Golf Club was the first time we'd ever made a golf game, you know, from start to finish, and we had an idea of what we wanted, and we weren't sure after years of nothing but the Tiger Woods brand coming out what other people wanted. So we had a few ideas. We wanted to see what people thought, and the open beta was a really good idea for us. We got a lot of feedback about, you know, people did want it more like we wanted it, a little harder. They didn't want you know, the easier sort of options that we had. We had a line in there at the start, which I love, by the way, because that just reminded me I kept doing Bubba Watson shots from a few years ago where he bent it around in trees.
Yeah.
But people didn't want that, and that's great because that meant that we knew we were on the right track, and that's why we sort of did what we did. Mm-hmm. The only reason to do another open beta, if we did one, if we did it before an update or a TGC2, would be if we had a huge feature and, you know, we wanted to test servers out and stuff like that. I think it might be a reason to do it.
Nobody misses a trick. I thought for some reason I was on the tee box and I went to driver. I hit driver off the fairway. It went about 100 yards into the bushes. Oops. Yeah. Fred Bauer says, "What was that?"
And I'm 7 over.
Managed to scrape out a par though. Roy says, can we get a long, narrow rectangle brush for green surface, just like the fairway brush of the same shape? I'd pay a microtransaction for that.
Yeah, that's what we should charge. We should charge for promotion of courses. I'm sure people would pay to get their course on the front page.
Well, I'll take bribes for the suggested list. I'm okay with that.
Yeah. But yeah, I can't see why we couldn't do that. I'll talk to Paul about it. Paul's the man when it comes to them things.
Alright, Fusion says he's back. He must have had to step away, but he'll catch up to us pretty quick, I'm sure. Alright. I'm in the rough here. That's no good.
Oh!
I can't putt.
Oh, that's going to be too much juice.
You're not putt for like me.
Tough Fish, will we get a 2-iron? Laughing, he says.
Yeah, I think, you know, that's one of the things that's been brought up over the last few weeks. Is we want to make sure we've got all the clubs in there, the ability to, you know, put clubs in your bag and decide what clubs you want. And I think my vision for the game, the more I'm playing it over the last few weeks, is there's just not enough course management in the game for my liking. You know, and I think the future of, you know, TGC brand is going to be very much about course management. We want to be known for that kind of play. We don't want to be just line it up, smash it down the fairway, shot, smash it. And, you know, I think it's all about doing it in the right way and presenting it in the right way and making sure it doesn't daunt. You know, it's not too daunting for people who aren't like amazing golfers. But, you know, I think being able to stand on the tee and really, you know, take a 3-wood rather than a driver, or, you know, make certain decisions that a lot of people aren't at the moment, and, you know, that's what I want. I want them sort of decisions leading the way you play the game, not just the mathematical sheets of if it's 174 yards with 2 foot down and an 8 mile an hour wind, I need to press right 4 times on the controller. You know, change my stance with this amount of clicks and swing 100%. You know, that's not what I want the game to be. You know, and I think the changes that I want to make to the game will not really affect the way somebody like me plays the game, and this is why I think there's so much of a like discussion to be had with myself, like between myself and people on the forums a lot, is that those guys are elite players with, like, they've got a way of playing, and it's a way that I think, you know, there's a lot of holes in the gameplay that we never saw. It wasn't we didn't want people to go around being able to hit 60s and 58s and stuff. And, you know, I remember when Lauren was the community manager, and he said to me, "Oh yeah, if you putt and you click it this way and that way and you do this," and I think Doyley mentioned something like it as well in the past. It was like, wow, I never even would have thought about that. I just line it up and try and get it near the hole. And, you know, that's just, I want the changes that we make to not take away from the average to below average players like myself, but pull in the guys that are so elite that they're getting challenged more, because at the moment they're not getting challenged because they've found a way that the game plays to make it too easy. And you know, there does need to be a little more difficulty off the tee. You know, just the fact that there's no, you know, and I'm never worried about going in the bushes to the right or you know, over a pond or anything like that, which is something that happens in real golf. But that's not the only thing that's the issue. You know, the issue, other things is, you know, greens are getting made super fast with super undulation on them to stop people punish people who are not dialing the ball in right next to the hole.
Right.
That in turn creates the average player like myself to hate certain courses, and if I'm new to the game, I pick it up, and if I just pick a course with a green like that, I'm going to go, this game's rubbish, bad review, never playing it again, tell all my friends it's not very good.
Right.
So if we fix the other issues to stop people from dialing it in for like within a foot of the hole all the time, in turn we won't get designers making courses that have unbelievable greens. We'll make a better experience for everybody. And I think I'm on the right track with that. There's certain people on the forums that think that I'm insane.
I just
but
killed that ball. Damn it.
But yeah, that's sort of, I think, you know, the plan for me is if we can get I think there's a single way of playing the game that will not affect the average players like myself, the newcomers, the guys that are okay at golf, but will make the experience for the super elite a little more challenging without them being punished and being beaten by people like me.
Sure. Cool. Fusion said that's very encouraging. Course management is very important rather than just throwing darts every time, so he agrees. Doubtful, nice tourney last week for me, by the way. Thank you, sir. Actually ended up
Yeah, where did you finish in the end?
T3, so I was
Oh, nice.
pretty happy. I'm not ashamed to say it was an alternate event. All the best guys were at the Masters. I wasn't, but hey, I'll take it. Thought I might have a chance, but nope. There were a couple of guys who outclassed me there, but it was a good one. I had fun playing that one. Burton Katz is looking forward to the future HB. He's excited.
The future HB, the one with Doctor Who. Yeah, no.
I think there should have been a comment. Looking forward to the future.
Yeah,
comment.
no. Yeah, no, we're looking forward to the future. I think, you know, the golf club's got a strong future. You know, we've, as I keep saying to people, we're still advertising 4 positions on the golf club. There's a couple of software engineer positions that we're looking for. You know, and we actually interviewed someone yesterday for a role.
Nice.
And, you know, we've got Infinite Air, which has been announced for another team that were working on something else previous to that. So it's good for a company like HB. You know, we're an indie developer, to be able to work on 2, you know, titles that are our own and not be told by other people what to make. It's nice. It's just nice to have your own IP and be able to work on stuff and create the game you want to create.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, the fact that we've got this amazing course designer and terrain editor and the like that can then be converted into something like a snowboarding game really does give us a good foundation for stuff. And you know, the golf club was a real success for us, so it's good.
Yeah. So
Good long-term future.
So no need for the doom and gloom posts on the forums.
Oh, no, I
HB's
enjoy
not
them
going
though,
anywhere.
because, you know, I just have way too much fun in my life, so I need to be brought down to the misery that everyone else brings on a Saturday morning.
Oh, get in there! Nice putt. Smurf says, "I hope it's not more random stuff that's gonna make it more challenging."
Yeah, I'm just gonna put rand, comma, bracket on every feature. No, it won't be anything like that. It's not random. It's like there's the random that's in the game that was in the game was not what I wanted, and unfortunately, it sort of got there. It's now been removed to a degree, and well, it is fully, and there won't be any more random. It's like that. Random is not how I've ever made games in the past, and it won't be in the future.
Excellent.
So, yeah, don't worry about that. So me and Brett on the 17th. What do you want?
Tied.
Stroke through. Yeah, we're all tied.
Oh, you guys are tied. I have Fusion by a shot here, but he's on 16, so he's probably gonna.
You guys are so far ahead.
Yeah, you
I'm
guys
not.
don't count.
Don't care.
We're not in the same conversation. Is that what you're saying?
Oh no. It's so focused.
It's all gone quiet.
So maybe we should fire some questions to Brett so we can get him to talk while he's trying to play.
Oh yeah, no
No.
thanks. So leave all the
We'll let him focus. We'll let him
I know.
focus.
That green is not going to be. Oh, luckily, massively underhit that.
Bugsy, WGT Bugsy says, "Leave the swing alone."
I won't be touching the swing either. I don't think, especially in the short term. It's not them kinds of things. You know, as I said before, I think it's the numbers, the hard numbers. I'm not a fan of. You know, I don't like the ability that people use charts. You know, I think we do have an issue with spin on the ball and the ease at which you can dial in certain stuff. And you know, I'm not pleased at the way that Brighttail put a nice post up on the forum last night. Which I totally agree with a lot of what he was saying. It's just, as I've always said, you know, certain things like the flop shot, it went out like that. It was never my intention for it to be that easy. It went out, and what's the scores?
Tied.
Oh, we've both got 5. and then it gets reviewed, and it's people are playing it like that. It was never our intention to be that easy to get 100%. And as soon as we did make it slightly hard to get 100%, people were like going absolutely insane about it. So it's like, what do we do here?
Yeah.
And so it's tough, and like, how do we do it? How do we change the base game? Do we have a separate DLC called TGC Hardcore, and that's another separate strand, and the people that bought TGC carry on with that, and the TGC Hardcore group, is a smaller game for a certain set of people? I don't know, and that's one of the things we've got to sort of talk about.
Mm-hmm. Smurf says removing super loft and or the numbers on the loft chart would be good. But
Yeah.
Doubtful says removing the numbers wouldn't do much in the long run, though people would just figure them out again.
I can't deal with this right now.
Yeah.
Are you gonna watch me?
Yeah, I'm watching Brett take the putt here.
I'm gonna hit it hard
You
enough.
guys are right down to the...
Oh,
Oh, Fusion tied me at -9.
I don't know. I can't putt. Quit watching me.
Well, that's the game.
All the eyes are on you. No pressure.
Oh, he's got it. Oh, now it's my putt. Still win.
Lunchbox Brief says still need a way to tell if we've played a course in the search menu. Maybe a check mark, perhaps.
Yeah, I agree with that. There's a certain thing. So I beat Bert Massert. Is it Massert or McCurt?
Kurt.
Kurt.
Yeah, so I've beaten him. I didn't embarrass him.
Nice birdie on the last.
Embarrassed
Take it
himself
home.
with like a bogey on every hole.
Hey.
Every hole at the end there.
Yeah.
But
A lot of red numbers.
Jordan Spieth right at the end. But yeah, so I take that as a moral victory. I don't know why, but won by 2 shots. And Fusion and yourself, Keith, won by a country mile.
Fusion and I tied. He finished up nice there. He said he went to dinner and had dessert and still finished before him. Tough Fish UK is instancing possible, so live players could be seen on the course without needing to be added.
Say that again.
I'll just read exactly how it's written. Is instancing possible? ? So live players could be seen on the course without needing to be added.
Well, I'm looking into that as well, because there's been many things said, and I agree that it's like the golf club at the moment. You go out and you're by yourself. It's a bit like a zombie apocalypse. In fact, you're out on these courses and no one else is there, and it would be nice to be able to see other people ball, even if it's ghost balls, or if it's them people walking around, just to add life to the courses. So I'm sure Magnolia was played a ton last weekend.
Oh
And it
yeah.
would be good to go there and just see the amount of ghost balls that were being played. The issue is having an avatar on there would be that it would have to disappear and arrive at where the ball landed, and it might look a bit weird because
Yeah.
in the game you're not actually, the avatar doesn't actually walk from his shot to the next.
Right. So you
ball.
just have kind of things popping in and out all over.
Yeah, and that gives us a bit of a weird look, which I think we'd want to avoid. But there might be ways around it, and I could fake something and make a false walk. I don't know. We'll see. So yeah, it's definitely something I've looked into though, and push your army on a little bit, because I do want to take that you're in the world all by yourself thing. It's a bit like The Witness. There's no one else there, so it'd be nice if you could feel that your club was busy and there was people milling around.
Sure. Smurf asked, would you consider narrowing the shot cone for more shots like chipping, flop shots from the rough and bunker, things like that?
Yeah, definitely. I want to narrow the cone. I want to narrow it for the flop. It's just, you'd be surprised how many emails we get a week from people going, how do I put backspin on the ball? Because they're used to doing it as a little button flick.
Right.
From previous years of other games.
Uh-huh.
And so that's got the fact that when we released and we had the flop shot as easy as it was, and then the ability to get backspin, taking something like that and making it a lot harder will ruin the experience for a lot of people that have enjoyed the game up until this point. And and that's like my issue at the moment, and that's why I keep coming back to that. Is as much as there's a vocal group of people, and they're the people that we set out to make the game for, and I think as a team, HB agree with them people. We don't want to ruin the experience of hundreds of thousands of people that also don't interact with us on the forums,
Right.
that do enjoy the game. And it's like, how do we get a happy medium there? And that's why we haven't put an update out, and that's why we've been playing the game, and that's why we've made a list, and we've got to either bite the bullet and go, look, we don't care about them 100,000 people, which is something that I think would be insane, or do we say, we care about these hundreds of thousands of people here, or do we care about these ones, or do we care about these ones? And do we just let some go free, or do we go, how do we get everyone on board? And it's something like that.
Yeah.
And my opinion always has been, you can't please all the people all the time, so you might as well just try and make the best game you think you should.
Yeah.
And if people like it, they'll buy it, and if they don't, unlucky, you haven't got a job anymore.
Yeah, it can't be an easy
and
thing to
I've been
figure out.
lucky in 19 years that when I think like that, most people like what I've done.
Yeah.
And I'm going to continue with that sort of process. And we've been lucky with the golf club. What we did last time, most people like. There is changes, but we were very close to being near perfect, I think. And I think going forward, how do we try and get everyone to believe we're near perfect? I think we need a driving range. I think we need stuff like that if we're going to make anything more difficult, and we'll need good tutorials, and all them things cost money. So it's like, how do we get that, and how do we make the money to make them things worthwhile?
Chief Banks said someone may have already said, but congrats again on the award from ID at Xbox.
Yeah, it was really nice. Well, I didn't know we were actually getting it, and it's quite heavy,
Yeah, it looks nice.
like a little piece of kryptonite, maybe.
Excellent. Smurf Blade said if major changes are to be made, it has to be a TGC2, in my opinion, he says.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that's on the table. It's like, okay, do we just say this was TGC1? Do we go for the next update and go, next update is just a set of cleanups that really says that was TGC1, we put it to bed, and then we go on to a TGC2? Or do we say there's TGC1, and how do we build on that and be something else, and then continue to grow? And I think if we do a TGC2, it's going to need to be something a lot bigger than just an update. It'd have to be an amount of work that everyone would sit back and go, wow, that's a separate product. And that would be a major investment. And would anybody want to come in with us and do that? I think there's plenty of, especially after the success of the golf club, we've got plenty of people excited about the prospect of doing golf with us. We've got Maximum Games on board for doing the disc version in America, and Koch in Europe. So both of them approached us about that. So I'm sure there's an interest from publishers out there to do a Golf Club 2, or we've done really well with the Golf Club 1, and we maybe fund our own version of it again. So it's like, what do we do? And that's sort of what my decision making has been up for the last couple of months, really, since Christmas, and playing the game and just trying to enjoy it, and watching other people. I watch a lot of other people's games and Ghost Balls as well, and seeing how they play the game. There's people like Doyley and Jim Gem and guys like that are real elite players out there that I want to see how they play the game, and why they enjoy the game. Why do certain people enjoy the game that way, and would it be unenjoyable if I took certain things away from them? And how do I get people that don't like the game to enjoy the game? And so there's many aspects to look, because there's such a broad amount of people, and it's like, how do we go best about pushing the brand forward as a franchise, and go, okay, this is the golf club. We want to be the number one golf game in the market. We want people to think, oh, I want a golf game. It's got to be the golf club.
Yeah, definitely. I remember when I was over at Best Buy picking up something else, and unfortunately I don't think Best Buy picked up the disc version, but I was picking up the game, and of course I was buying. I love sports games, so here's a perfect opportunity. So I work for the golf club. Do you like golf clubs? Oh, Rory McIlroy? I said no, it's called the golf club. They said, you guys don't carry it, but it's a really good game, you should check it out. Oh, okay. I mean, that's the thing. It's a great game, but how do you get it on everybody's mind or get it out in front of everybody? And of course, people remember. Well, I mean, it technically changed names, but it was still the EA golf game.
Yeah, exactly, and that's the thing. It's like it's trying to build that brand. And I think what we've got with the golf club is a really, really solid foundation, and it's in how do we look at the world? 5 years ago you just do a golf club 2, you didn't do a golf club 3 and a golf club 4.
Yeah.
Has the world changed, and there's no appetite for doing year-on-year games anymore? It went through a few years of DLC, and then it's gone like freemium, and then you try and make your money other ways, and
Right. Well,
how do you do that? And that's how we've got to decide what the best way to continue with.
Well, that was the thing, I mean, I'd always see the comments when the next, like, Madden would come out. I mean, there weren't too many big changes, and people, or any of the sports games, like, oh, it's just a roster update. You're buying the same game with just roster updates, and you don't want to do that, So, excellent. All right, guys, what else? A couple of quick questions here. P8's heard some interesting talk about possible PS4, PC, Xbox cross-platform, which would be cool going forward.
Well, we can already do cross-platform. It's really weird. I've been really annoyed, on a personal level, and tweeted out about it to a few people as well, that this cross-platform stuff got brought up, and then that car game, what's it called you play?
Rocket League?
Rocket League was going, oh yeah, Rocket League, they're going to have cross-platform, it's amazing. We've had cross-platform, we were the people that invented it, we were the ones that went to Microsoft and Sony and got them to put a waiver into the stuff so we could put courses across, and we were actually allowed to do cross-platform Ghost Balls. We can do it. I might actually even put it in for the next update. I've actually got it on my list, because when I'm playing the tournaments on things like TGC Tours and T-Screen and that, I want to see the other people that were in them, in them, even if I can't tell who they are. And that was always a problem, and the reason we never included the Ghost Balls was that you're only allowed to say TGC member, because if there could be another King Kine on the Xbox, or they've got different rules on what naming conventions you can use. So, and then they don't want like an Xbox logo or on a Sony product, and Sony don't want Microsoft don't want a PS4 logo on an Xbox logo. So I just have to say TGC member, and looking at it now, I always said that was pointless. If you look up the leaderboard and there's like 4,000 TGC members, and then you're bottom and you don't know who any of them people are. But playing TGC tours, where lots of people take place in them tours, it's really interesting to see. Like, I do actually care what them Ghost Balls are, because although I don't know exactly who they are, I know that I've got to get above them. So I might put them in the next update.
Cool. Smurf played some more in-game stats would be cool. After round stats would be good.
Yeah, I agree. I'd really like to see that pushed out. I'd like to see the amount of data we store and the amount of data we never show is amazing. So it would be great. I'd love to do heat maps. I'd love to do, some of that stuff I was talking about, course management. I'd love to see like previews of the holes where it shows you how other people have played the hole and stuff like that. It would be really, really cool. So even if you could just get to a hole and then like the previous times you've played the hole, if you played it 15 times, there'll be 15 Ghost Balls coming up showing you how you played the hole.
Yeah, like you see when, like, during a tournament, they'll show you all the dots on the screen, show you what were birdies, what were pars.
Yeah, and it would be really cool that you could say, okay, when I birdied this hole, how did I play it? And it would show you. So that's some stuff like that, and we store all that at the moment, so it's just a case of displaying it.
Maya Kane said, how about Jordan Spieth's golf club or Jason Day's the golf club? That would get attention.
It would get attention. We actually looked at Jordan Spieth before the golf club was originally released, and it was before we won the Masters and had that good run that year before. And he was reasonably expensive back then when no one had ever heard of him, so I'm sure he's through the roof now.
Oh god, I can imagine.
Yes, you would get a lot of attention, but you don't get enough attention for what the money is you have to pay out, I don't think.
Yeah. All right. Last couple of quick ones here. Fusion asks, is anyone working on any extensions to the API, or shall I just bug Mitchell or whoever about that?
I've got a few things to be worked on for the API, so I'll mostly do that as part of the next update as well. So if we can get a few easy ones in there, we'll put them in there.
All right. Cool. All right. So let's wrap it up here. Well, thanks for joining me.
No problem. It was fun. Always a good way to spend a Wednesday afternoon.
For sure.
Yeah.
It was nice
Definitely.
to not be buried in a load of work this week, so it's good to actually just have a game.
There you go. Just to remember, we played Windsong Shores Golf Sanitarium. That's the white course by D-Dog. So definitely go out and give that one a play. Hit some of his
Yeah,
other courses.
good.
There's a lot of good ones out there that he's made. So hit more by Designer.
It was so hilly, I need a rest after it.
Good thing you took a cart today.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, thanks everybody for joining in. If you haven't hit the follow button, please do so at the bottom. That would be awesome. If you're watching on YouTube, like and subscribe. That would be great. That's to be up to about 32 people in the chat, so that was pretty nice. Thanks everybody for joining in.
Not
Cool.
bad.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Talk to everybody next week.
See ya.